Hey guys, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. Today I'll be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. So about 2 weeks ago, I started thinking it is about time to do the mid-year book freakout tag, which I have done twice. So I knew it was time to do it. And literally 3 days after I realized it was time to do this tag, everyone started doing it. So basically we all realized the same thing at the same time, but yet I'm still getting mine out late. I just thought that was pretty funny. So like I said, I've done this tag twice before. I didn't do it last year, and I don't know why I didn't do it last year because I really like this tag. So I'm going to do 2018's edition, and this is a tag where you answer questions relating to how your first half of your reading year went. It's kind of nice because this tag allows you to talk about how your year has gone reading-wise, what you've read, what has been your favorite book so far. So without any further ado, let's just get into the question. Question number 1 is the best book you've read in 2018 so far. Without a doubt, that answer is Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. I love this book so much, and I know it's going to be hard for any book to surpass this one. I have a full review on this book, so I will link it in the cards, but I will just say you need to read this book, especially if you love reading about families. This is a YA contemporary book about these 3 siblings who were adopted as babies, so they've never met each other, but they end up finding each other. It is so heartwarming, so emotional, and I love it so much. I definitely think it's pretty underrated and definitely deserves a lot more attention. Question number 2 is the best sequel you've read so far in 2018. So it's time for an unpopular opinion. So the best book I've read that is a continuation to a series is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, and this is a novella in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I loved this sequel to the series so much, and it's an unpopular opinion because a lot of people did not like this novella because not a lot happens in it, but I liked it because we just got to hang out with the characters, and seeing them interact just warms my heart, and they're all so happy. I just thought it was a really fun book, and I didn't mind that there wasn't a lot of action in it because I just really loved seeing the characters and how they interacted with each other, and I just love the fact that they're all so happy at this moment. So I really love this book, even though a lot of people don't like it, and I can't wait for the next book in the series. Question number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have so many answers to this one, so I had to really think about it because there's been so many books released in 2018 that I'm so excited to read. One that came to mind though is Emergency Contact, and this is a new adult contemporary, I believe, which is great because I've been really in a new adult kick lately, so I really want to get to this book soon. I've heard great things about it. I haven't heard actually one bad thing about this book, so I really want to read it, and I hope to get to it this year. Question number 4 is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. There are a lot of great books coming out in fall that I'm really excited for, but one of them is by my favorite author, and that is The Darkest Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is a spin-off book to her Lex series, which I haven't finished reading that series yet, so I need to get it done before I pick up this new release. But because it's written by Jennifer Armentrout, I just really want to read it because I love her writing so much, so I'm really excited for this one. Question number 5 is your biggest disappointment. I just hate mentioning this book in any of my videos because I'm in the minority in my opinions with this one, so this is painful, but I have to say it is The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. I was disappointed in this book, one, because this book was so hyped up. It's been hyped up for a year that the hype did get to me, and my expectations for this book were through the roof. That was one reason. Another reason is because I didn't think it was impactful as people say it is. I actually had a lot of problems with this book that I want to go over in a future video, because if I explained all the issues I have with this book right now, this video would be so long because I have so much to say. I actually do want to reread this book really soon because I went into this book not knowing a lot of background information about the Black Lives Matter movement, which this book is based off of. And I have researched the subject now, so now that I know all about it, I want to go back into this book and see if my opinions have changed. but I'm not expecting them to be a big change. There are still problems I have with this book that don't have to do with the Black Lives Matter movement that I just really didn't like. So I will do a book review for this book in the future when I reread it, but as of right now, this is my biggest disappointment and I really wanted to love this book. Question number 6 is, what is your biggest surprise? I knew this answer instantly because I did not expect to love this book as much as I did. That is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I didn't expect to love this book because I had heard so many negative things about this book. Like, this is a lot of people's like least favorite Holly Black book. So I went into this book with really low expectations, and I think those low expectations is why I love this book so much, because I didn't expect much from it, but it completely surprised me. I love the plot, I love the characters, I love how the story played out. I don't get why it gets so much of a bad reputation. It is just so good, and it has definitely made me want to pick up more of Holly Black's book. Question number 7 is, what is your favorite new author, debut, or new to you? So I read one book by this author last year, but since I didn't do this tag last year and this author is still pretty new to me, since I've now read a huge chunk of her books this year, I'm still gonna count it. And if you have been on my channel, you'll know who that is, and I mentioned it in this video. That is Jennifer L. Armentrout. She has definitely become my favorite author in the span of like 6 months. I just really love her books. I love the way she writes. Her writing is very quirky, and that's what I love most about it. It's just super fun to read. And the reason I probably love her so much is because she wrote my favorite book, which is The Problem with Forever, that will remain my favorite book for probably a long time. So I'm so glad I discovered her last year, and I definitely want to read all of her books, and she has so many books published that it's gonna take me a while to get through all of them, but I will get to all of them because I just want to read everything she's written. Number 8 is your newest fictional crush. Speaking of JLA, that answer would be Damon from the Lux series. I had heard before reading this series how much everyone who has read this series really loves Damon, and I definitely got on board with that. I love him so much. And it's weird because he falls into the bad boy trope, and I really dislike that trope. I've voiced that opinion before, but he has a lot more depth to him besides the fact that he is a bad boy, which I like. I can forgive the fact that he acts as the bad boy character because there's more depth to his characters besides the fact that he falls into that category. And he is definitely swoon-worthy. He is so hilarious, and I just really enjoy reading about him so much. Number 9 is your newest favorite character. I think that would have to be Gabriel from The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. I still don't know if you're supposed to pronounce his name Gabriel or Gabriel. I have always said Gabriel, so I'm sticking to that. I love this character. He was my favorite character from this book. He is also a character that kind of falls into the bad boy trope. So I don't know if that trope is just growing on me, but I really loved him because he is bad, but he owns it. Like, he does not care what anyone thinks. He loves who he is. He's not afraid to be himself. That is what I love about him, and he makes being a bad boy so sexy. I love that. I would also answer for the last question that he is also a newest fictional crush, because I definitely fell for him from the moment he was introduced in the book. Number 10 is a book that made you cry. I would answer Far From the Tree again because that book really made me cry hard, but I'm gonna come up with a different answer for this one. I would say that would have to be If There's No Tomorrow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I cried at the end of this book so hard. It was so emotional. This book deals with a topic that is not easy to read about, and I can't say what it is because it's a spoiler. You'd have to read the book to find out what it is, but it'll definitely like break your heart. There were so many moments in this book that I just felt all the feels and just cried my eyes out. Number 11 is a book that made you happy. A book that made me really happy was Meet Cute, which is an anthology written by a bunch of YA authors. This anthology was so cute because it's all about instances where couples first meet, and the way a lot of these characters met for the first time was just so adorable. I loved reading about it. And this book just made me so happy because this entire short story collection was just full of such happy stories that just made me smile. I would definitely recommend this book if you are into anthologies. Number 12 is your favorite book to film adaptation that you've seen this year. So I've only seen 2 book to movie adaptations. First one was Love, Simon, and the other one was Every Day, but I definitely have to say that answer will have to be Every Day. I love this movie so much, probably because this is one of my favorite books of all time. I had been really anticipating the movie and it did not disappoint. The movie was so well done, definitely stayed true to the book, which I really appreciated. And this movie was just recently released on DVD, so I really want to rewatch it again, and now I can, and I'm going to do that soon because I just love this movie so much. Number 13 is favorite review you've written, Booktube, or written. My favorite review I've done this year definitely is my review of Fangirl. That review was just so much fun to film because it was a rant review, and it was my first rant review I had ever done because I deeply disliked this book, so it was just so much fun to rant about it, and that is actually my most viewed video on my channel. So I'm glad a lot of people liked watching it as much as I enjoyed filming it, and I still get daily comments from that video, so I really enjoy hearing everyone's feedback from that video. And I also was surprised to find that a lot of people agreed with me on my opinions on that book, which was really cool because I thought I was in the minority when it came to my opinions on that book, but I'm glad so many people agreed with me. Number 14 is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. I would have to say that The Cruel Prince is the most beautiful book I've bought this year. Not only is the cover stunning, like I really love the cover, but when you take it off, look at that. Isn't that not gorgeous? I love it so much. And I have yet to read this book, and because I loved The Coldest Girl in Cold Town so much, I do want to read this book, but I want to read The Darkest Part of the Forest first, since I heard a rumor that characters from that book show up in this book, so I'd like to read that book first. So I'm gonna read The Darkest Part of the Forest hopefully soon, and then get to this one. And I hope to read this before the sequel comes out next year. And the last question is, what books do you still need to read before the end of the year? I have 3, and these are all series that I need to continue. So the first one is The Retribution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, which is the 3rd book in the Mara Dyer trilogy. Need to finish this series. I actually plan to get to this book really soon, within like the next week, so hopefully it's good. And then I have The Edge of Always by J.A. Redmersky. This is the 2nd book in the Edge of Never trilogy. I really like the 1st book. This is a new adult series, so again, I'm in the mood for these books right now, so I hope to get to this one really soon. I also, like I mentioned earlier, need to finish the Lux series. Want to get this series read before the spin-off book comes out, and I think I'll manage to do that. So that was this year's edition of the mid-year book freakout tag. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos. And also be sure to click that bell icon next to the subscribe button so that you are notified when I post new videos. And if you want to see more from me outside of YouTube, be sure to follow my social media. The links will be down in the description box below. And I'll be back really soon. Bye!